And welcome back to Morgan Park, because we have one race left on today's, well, extensive program, and that is the third and final race for the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup. And the two races that we've seen so far this weekend, Steve, have been extremely entertaining, and hopefully the last race on today's program can live up to the hype that has been generated by those two earlier races.
I'm sure it will. It's been a super exciting weekend here at Morgan Park. Great weather, and these guys have just seen the Superbike race a couple of races ago, and I'm sure that they're really keen to get out there for the last race of the day, which will wrap up the weekend here at Morgan Park.
I've also seen a bit of controversy with disqualification from yesterday's race, and that was for our championship leader, Mitch Simpson. He bounced back with great form in one of the following races as well.
Yeah, I mean, the disqualification, it was a mistake made by the team. They ran the rev limit 500 RPM too high, literally because they put a new part on the bike and they didn't check it. That was all. Not like it was a deliberate thing, so it's just an unfortunate thing, but glad that it got caught nice and early, so that Mitch, you know, although he's got to pay the penalty, he can get points in this race.
Yeah, as they said, the team were very apologetic because they didn't realise that they'd actually made a mistake. Yeah. It was picked up in the post-race technical inspection, and everything has been fixed up, ready for the following two races today. Right, we're ready to go racing for the final time this weekend. Hudson Thompson has been able to repair his bike as well after that crash in the earlier Race and Road Supersport 300 race.
Yeah, good to see. There's Nicholas Lazos on the number 11 machine. He's had a cracker of a weekend so far, hasn't he, for the young lad?
Also, Nixon Frost, the problem that affected him in the earlier race today too, Steve, looks like that's been rectified. Nixon's back out there on the grid on board bike number 99.
As the sun starts the close competition of the riders as they come up through turn 2 and 3.
So, an 8-lap race for the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup. We see young Sydney sider Mark Shaw out there as well, living up here in Queensland at the moment while he's attending the Qantas Pilot Academy.
He just flashed through the screen. There he is on the number 111 machine.
Yep, the RB Racing entry. Of course, did the full year last year in the Supersport 300 and R3 Cup categories.
It was his first year last year, wasn't it?
It was, yep. Did a pretty good job. Turned up at Phillip Island with only a little bit of racing experience under his belt at the local rounds in Sydney, and then had his eyes opened well and truly wide when he took on Phillip Island for the first time at the end of February last year. But here's your starting grid. Hudson Thompson will start from the front row of the grid with Seth Dello and John Pelgrave joining him in positions 1, 2 and 3.
Nicholas Lazos, Jay Russo and William Hunt are your row 2.
Nixon Frost, Phoenix O'Brien and Geordie Simpson on row 3.
Row 4 will be Matt Ritter, Oscar Lewis and David Coward.
Rossi McAdam, Lincoln Knight and Alvin Wu out of positions 14, 15 and 16 with Flynn Jacobs, Mitch Cartwright, Kiara Vest, the local Queenslander in 19th on board bike number 19. Then it's Tian Hao Zhao, Mark Shaw, Zach Russo and Adam Jordan rounding out the 24-bike field.
Yeah, massive field of R3s in this Shop Yamaha R3 Cup race. Can't wait to get it underway.
There is Hudson Thompson. That is the bike that Will Nassif rode last year. Of course, became available when Will Nassif stepped up to the Kawasaki Supersport field this year. As we're ready to go racing for the final time here at Morgan Park. Shop Yamaha R3 Cup, race number 3. R3 Cup is go. Looked like a pretty good start there from John Pelgrave on board bike number 43, and he's already trying to find a way up the inside of Hudson Thompson as they go through turn 1. Nick Lazos follows him through as well, relegating our pole man back to 3rd position.
Whoa,
so big start. Oh, is that one of the Simpson brothers there? Was very creative in his lines all the way out onto the concrete on the exit of SW Motec corner turn 2.
Good start by South Australian Seth Dello as well in 4th position there.
There's a lot of South Australians on a charge in this one because the Simpson brothers are very well placed as well. And as usual, they haven't done a lot of laps here at Morgan Park in Queensland, but they have been getting faster and faster as the weekend goes on. I think that's Mitch now up into about 4th position and not too far behind younger brother Geordie.
Interesting, a few of the riders that have jumped on these bikes have just jumped off their Blue Crew Junior bikes. Chiara Vest is, well, not one of the ones, but I think I see Oscar Lewis as an example, and Elijah Andrew, both in the other championship and this championship, so doubling up.
So down towards the bottom end of the circuit we come. There's Geordie Simpson on board bike number 33. Mitch Cartwright also there on board bike number 63, battling in for 15th position with Lincoln Knight. But it is Nick Lazos that leads them out of Ducati corner and across the line for the first time in this 8-lap race. So Lazos on 11 leads from Pelgrave, who got a very good jump off the line and led them through turn 1. Down the inside, I think Hudson Thompson was trying to find his way past Pelgrave. Pelgrave was just too late on the brakes into AMMF corner. And Mitch Simpson is now up into 4th place, Steve. So working his way forward over that first lap, he could well be a factor in the end of this race.
Well, he does like to lead it. John Pelgrave is so impressive on the front end. He really does dive into every corner like it's the last lap. A great job there. He's I've really noticed it this weekend that's his style, but he pulls it off. He hasn't made too many mistakes.
Nicholas Lazos is also having a great weekend as well, now back up into a 2nd position. Phoenix O'Brien also making his way forward on the Moto Go Yamaha up into 5th place as well. Board bike number 85, you can see him there with the blue and white. That's his Blue Crew Junior Cup leathers. I think still getting a solid workout for Phoenix O'Brien. You can see many of the riders, when they graduate from the Blue Crew Junior Cup, wear those leathers for years to come.
They do.
The Recondi leathers are very high quality product.
So Nick Lazos out front at the moment. I think he's liking it up the front, isn't he?
He's had that little taste at the last round and can't get enough of it now, and he's had a great weekend this weekend as they come across the line. So that's 2 laps in a row now that Lazos has led them across the line. Fastest man on the first flying lap as we wait for the timing monitor to update is actually Matthew Ritter back in 6th position with a 1:24.7. So excellent first couple of laps there from Matthew Ritter, who's moved his way forward, and he's sitting in 6th place, well and truly in this lead group now as they make their way down into Modal Corner. Oh, big crash. That is a very big crash. Looks like bike number 83, Alvin Wu, involved in that one as well.
And
Elijah Andrew, yep. So Elijah Andrew looking to try and pick his bike up. A lot of dust being thrown up there in that incident. Couldn't quite pick up where it was though, Steve. Looked like it was relatively early in the lap. Turn 1 was the scene of that crash. You called it early in the weekend, saying that was a place where it was very hard to try and get in there, and you called it when Archie McDonald was in there on the brakes as well. As we see it, that's the end of that incident there. I'm not sure if they came in contact or whether Elijah Andrew crashed in sympathy.
Well, I think, 3 riders definitely got caught up in that anyway, but unfortunately for them, that's the end of their day. Back at the front, Nick Lazos has drifted back into 2nd place, and it's John Pelgrave who leads the way, but we know the slipstream effect down this straight, and it looks like it is Mitch Simpson who's going to make his way into the lead.
No, Matthew Ritter. Ritter up the inside. I thought he may have made a bid for the lead, but sweeping around the outside. Johnny Pelgrave. He's been like, that is so close underneath the bridge. That is a big move.
That was a good camera shot too.
Oh, it was perfect. Whoever was doing that cutting of position there changed it absolutely perfectly on time to see that move going underneath the bridge. The bridge camera is a great effect. Oh, they're now 3 and 4 wide as they make their way down through Pirelli and Yamaha.
It's getting a little bit hectic out there at the moment, isn't it?
It is. It is very, very close, and they're not really worried about too much on fast lines. They're just all trying to get to the front because some of the lines have been, well, let's just say somewhat creative.
Very creative. Here's Mitch Simpson, who is right up at the sharp pointy end at the moment, but we know that John Pelgrave will have something to say about that. Around the outside goes Nicholas Lazos, quite can't pull it off.
So Ritter tries up the inside, gets the better of Lazos, couldn't quite get past Pelgrave as well. They make their way through Kawasaki and up to Racing Road. They'll be coming round to complete 4 laps, so that will be half race distance. Here comes Geordie Simpson as well on board bike number 33, trying to charge forward to match his brother. I think going into the second race this morning, they were actually tied on championship points, the Simpson brothers. So Mitch back to second place now as Pelgrave goes into the lead. Through SW Motec they go. You can see the shadows starting to lengthen there, and turn 2 pretty much all underneath the shadows, and then they come out into the bright sunshine as they make their way through turn 3 and down into Motul Corner turn 4. Very tricky corner that comes way back on itself.
Pelgrave out front at the moment, again in front of Mitch Simpson. Matt Ritter doing a great job up there. Phoenix O'Brien's up near the front too. Nicholas Lazos has just drifted back just that bit at the moment.
Yeah, Oscar Lewis back in 9th position, just doing his fastest lap of the race, as did Nixon Frost in 11th position. Lincoln Knight and Mitch Cartwright as well on the last lap, setting their fastest laps of the race.
Hudson Thompson at the back of that group at the moment, 0.8 off the lead. There he is on the number 41 machine.
Keep your eye on Seth Dello, the rider that you mentioned before too, Steve. He's made his way up into 6th position. You can see the bright red machine there, bike number 34, starting to move forward right at the right time in this race.
Yeah, well, he did start on the front row of the grid. He sort of moved his way back, but now he's starting to make his way forward. He needs to, because there's only 3 laps to go.
So across the line they come. It is still Mitch Simpson leading. He led across the line last time. Pelgrave immediately went back into the lead at turn 1, AMMF corner, but no such repeat of the last lap for John Pelgrave now, as he has to settle in 3rd position as Lazos in 2nd. Then it's Phoenix O'Brien on board bike number 85 back there in 4th. Lazos in 5th. Up the inside goes Pelgrave. Couldn't quite get through on Ritter, who's now gone into the lead on board bike number 23.
I bet he likes the feeling of that. That's what he'll be thinking right now. Good job by Matt Ritter there. And 3 or 4 wide into Yamaha Financial Services. And
unfortunately, when you lick Nick Lazos and you're on the edge of that 3 wide, you're going to get stood up and have to take evasive action.
Yeah, Phoenix O'Brien with the 24.3, pretty impressive lap time. Times are good out there. That's fast.
So late afternoon, the shadows now starting to go over the bottom end of the circuit as well. You can see the sun flickering through the trees. Down through the inside comes Mitch Simpson on board bike number 66. Didn't get the greatest drive out of that bottom corner, and I think Pelgrave may have... Ritter that's gone up the inside as they make their way into Race and Road corner, but fighting back immediately is Mitch Simpson.
Yeah, good job there by Mitch. And look at Geordie Simpson. He's made his way right up into contention now too.
So Geordie is well and truly in this mix. Seth Dello up the inside as well, just muscling Phoenix O'Brien out of the way. The lines are getting even more creative now, Steve, as we get into the dying stages of this race. 2 more laps to go for the final race on the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup field as they make their way through turn 3 and down into Motul Corner turn 4. It is Ritter still in the lead. Around the outside is Mitch Simpson on board bike number 66.
Matt Ritter from Victoria doing a fantastic job near the front of this race at the moment. Only a couple of laps to go, or a lap to go really, until he can maybe pull off a podium.
Yeah, I think Phoenix O'Brien got muscled up a little bit there in the first stage of this race. Was that Dello right out onto the ripple strip? Got the full hippie shakes. In fact, no, I think it might have been Oscar Lewis on board bike number 56.
Yeah, I'm not too sure which rider it was. It would have been all of them at one point in time, because they are on the absolute limit at the moment as...
Ritter.
Whoa.
How did he stay on track there?
I don't know, but that definitely wasn't the fast way through there. But he hasn't really let it bother him too much as he slipped into the back of that pack now. But perhaps...
Lewis is trying to make his way past him now on the run up the hill.
Yeah, it looks like he may have lost his chance of a podium, but Mitch Simpson exactly where he needs to be. Let's have a look at the replay, what's actually happened here. In the background there, he's gone wide around the outside, and that is what he's done. He hasn't left enough room, and he's clipped the back of Mitch Simpson, which has lost a whole lot of speed. Not the way to go through that corner, but that is a lucky escape.
It is, and last lap now for the riders in the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup. Well, if the last couple of laps are anything to go by, this one is going to be everything on the line for all of these riders. And it's still Mitch Simpson that's managing to lead at the moment. But Oscar Lewis has moved into the top 3 at perfect timing.
Yeah, he certainly has. And if you just look in the background there, we've got the number 11 as well of Nicholas Lazos there. Another faller. That looks like it's Nixon Frost.
Yep, I think it is Nixon on board bike number 99 as he'll start to tumble down the timesheets. But it is still Mitch Simpson holding onto the lead. I'll tell you what, if any of these young hard chargers are going to try and outsmart Mitch Simpson, they're going to have to do it over the next couple of corners, because Mitch Simpson, the one thing he's got on these riders is just a little bit more experience, so he'll be able to position himself correctly. But can he deal with the outright speed this weekend of John Pelgrave? Yes, he can at Kawasaki Corner.
Yep, they've still got to get through the Ducati flip-flop, and we know that you can dive up the inside there, but he's got really good drive, and then he's got to contend with the slipstream up to the finish line. He's got a good drive out of there with Pelgrave in the back. He's in the slipstream. Can Pelgrave get past? No, he can't. And it is Mitch Simpson who takes the win.
Yeah, look at that. The excitement from Mitch Simpson. He knows how important that was for the championship as well. Mitch Simpson, what a ride from the South Australian there on board bike number 66. Under immense pressure. Immense pressure for the last couple of laps of the race from John Pelgrave, who finished in second place. Nicholas Lazos will take another podium in third. A big weekend for Nicholas Lazos. Matthew Ritter, who led a lot of the race, also in fourth position. Oscar Lewis in fifth. Phoenix O'Brien in sixth. Hudson Thompson in seventh place. Geordie Simpson will have to settle for eighth. And Seth Dello and Jai Russo round out your top 10.
Yeah, no, that was a pretty exciting race and a good way to round it all up here at Morgan Park.
The eventual winning margin, Steve, 0.086 of a second. I think if you added up the combined three winning margins for that class over this weekend, it would not equal more than a couple of tenths of a second.
Yeah, no, it's just nuts.
So Mitch Simpson takes the win over John Pelgrave. Nicholas Lazos will join them on the podium. Matthew Ritter just misses out in fourth. Oscar Lewis in fifth. And Phoenix O'Brien in sixth.
Hudson Thompson in seventh. Eighth is Geordie Simpson. Seth Dello in ninth, and Jai Russo in that 10th spot. Rossi McAdam from Western Australia 11th. 12th was David Coward, and 13th Lincoln Knight. 14th Mitch Cartwright. 15th Qian Zhao.
Mark Shaw in 16th position. Chiara Vest in 17th. All the way back to Nixon Frost in 18th position, eventually getting to the start to the finish line, and Adam Jordan, the final finisher, in 19th position. But Mitch Simpson, I think that emotion there, it's clearly evident how much that race win means to him. You can see the smile on his face from inside the helmet as he makes his way through Kawasaki Corner and up to make his way back to the podium.
Yeah, really, really great ride from him, especially after what happened in race 2 earlier on.
Let's have a look at the AMF race highlights for the final Shop Yamaha R3 Cup race for the day. And Hudson Thompson led them off the line. He started from pole position, but up the inside, it was Lazos and Pelgrave that went 1-2 through turn 1 for the first time.
Yeah, it was a really good start for Pelgrave. Look at the gap that he seems to be able to make every single time on the first lap. But they were just side by side, massive groups all throughout this race, and it was desperation. Matt Ritter tried to nip through on the inside there, couldn't quite make it work. Then down into Motul Corner, there was always plenty of action, but it was Mitch Simpson who made his way to the front after not such a great start. Look at the size of that group, absolutely massive. Seth Dello there bumps into the side of Phoenix O'Brien into the SW Motec corner.
Down into Motul Corner once again, Mitch Simpson having to get back towards the front of the race. Then this big moment for Matthew Ritter where he came into contact with the back of Mitch Simpson's bike. It took him exactly 0.3 of a second to regain his composure as Nixon Frost went out.
Yeah, unfortunately for Nixon Frost, that was the end of his day. But then Mitch Simpson used his experience and led over the line to take the win. And boy, how emphatic was that. Pelgrave in second, and Nicholas Lazos gets another podium for third place.
Yeah, I think the body language there was quite telling of how much that race win meant for Mitch Simpson. Having to battle all the young guys, doing a great job. And once again, that was the racecraft at the end of the race that got him there. So congratulations to Mitch Simpson, and Nicholas Lazos will actually win the round on 60 points ahead of Hudson Thompson on 59 and John Pelgrave on 55. So that'll be Nicholas Lazos' first ever round win in the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup.
Wow, that is super impressive for the young Victorian.
So championship points, Mitch Simpson will be now leading on 146 ahead of Nicholas Lazos, who's moved into second place on 133, 6 points ahead of Mitch's younger brother Geordie, who rounds out the top three. only 6 points behind Lazos in second. It is very, very interesting. You can see it there, 146 to 133, 127 for Geordie Simpson. Hudson Thompson has slipped back to 4th place. John Pelgrave has moved up into 5th. Oscar Lewis in 6th, Phoenix O'Brien in 7th, Ritter in 8th, Lincoln Knight in 9th, and Nixon Frost rounds out your top 10. Wow, what a race, Chris. Absolutely unbelievable. Our top 3 are going to be so excited.
Yeah, what a race it was. The Shop Yamaha R3 Cup, always this exciting action. And Nicholas Lazos, congratulations with 3rd place and the overall round win.
Thank you so much. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who came here to support me this weekend. Thank you, Dennis, for flying all the way up from Melbourne to see me. And look, good racing from everyone else. I did get a quick setback during the race. I think I went back to 6th or 7th. And then last corner, I just had to get in the inside of Oscar Lewis for the right-left, or else I wouldn't have come 3rd. So I just had to go for it.
As well, though. Good luck at the next round as well.
Thank you so much.
There goes our 3rd place man, Nick Lazos. 2nd place, John Pelgrave. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It was a tough race. All the boys battled hard. Yeah, just surprised to be on the podium, to be honest with you.
We love it. It's exciting all the way. And, yeah, congratulations all weekend. You've been strong.
Yeah, thank you. I'd just like to thank everyone that's helped me out this year. Marty's Moto, Bridgestone, Yamaha, Race and Road, Recondi, Western Automotive. They've all helped me a whole heap. Mum and Dad also, just being in my ear the entire time, helping me out. Yeah, thank you.
There you go, 2nd place man, John Pelgrave. And the winner, he made it hard for himself, starting on, I think, the 3rd row of the grid, but he had to pass a lot of guys. Always a smile on his face. Mitch Simpson, congratulations.
Nah, cheers to that, Chris. That was a bloody humdinger of a race. It's taken me a while to get there, but that last race I just felt like I was comfortable, like everything was just working. So it's good to leave on a high. It keeps you going for the next round, keeps the motivation going. So it's good to do that. I'd just like to thank my sponsors, Shoei Sims and Crash Sims and Signs, Yamaha and JBD Property Services. Cheers to that.
There you go, our race winner, Mitch Simpson for the Blue Crew. For the Shop Yamaha R3 Cup.
Thanks, Chris. And just a final
Thanks very much, Chris. Congratulations to Mitch Simpson. As he said, he's been trying to get there all weekend. Of course, he hasn't been doing a lot of riding here at Morgan Park, so good result for him at the end of the day. We move on now to round 5 at Queensland Raceway. Superbikes only with the supercars over the weekend of the 8th to the 10th of August. Then it's the full circus back to Phillip Island on the 6th and 7th of September for round 6 of the championship. Round 7, the penultimate round, the long weekend in New South Wales on the 3rd to the 5th of October at One Raceway in New South Wales. And then this traditional season-ending finale at the Bend Motorsport Park, round 8 on the 7th to the 9th of November. For more information, go to asbk.com.au. And of course, next weekend, the 2nd weekend of Warwick Bike Week in Queensland, the Pro MX Championship rolls into Warwick for a big round here, just across the way at the motocross track. And that will be the final event in Warwick Bike Week for 2025. Well, plenty more action coming up over the next couple of months for both the ASBK and Pro MX Championships. We can't wait to catch you in Queensland for the next round of the 2025 My Bike Motorcycle Insurance Australian Superbike Championships presented by Motul.